Kia ora everyone, Coach Ray here. Just getting ready for the quad crusher workout on the Windtrainer today. Hopefully there's going to be a few of you join me. This session is really great for developing sustained power while cycling. And the sort of athletes that would benefit from that are obviously cyclists, but also triathletes. Now I'm just going to get my Garmin Edge mount set up. I'm going into my Connect IQ, into the training peaks, just connected to the power meter. Now downloading the workout for me, and we'll get into it very shortly. Right, start. Okay, so we're going to start with 10 minutes warming up, just nice and gentle. I've got it on high. Level 1, just to warm up, spin the legs over, get that going, and getting the heart rate elevated. So 10 minutes warming up, then we're going to move into the intervals, which are 3 by 10 minutes at your threshold intensity, which is level 4. So warming up, we're at level 2, just keeping it ticking over. For me, that's power between 143 watts and 174 watts, just keeping it nice and gentle. Spinning over and just check. My power's too low, so step it up. Just want to keep the cadence at about 90 revolutions per minute. Keep that power nice and steady for 10 minutes as we warm up, then we'll get into the main body of the workout. I'm going to try and talk through this as much as I can. Obviously when we get to the harder parts of the workout, that's not going to be the case. We're all going to be struggling if anyone's doing it with me. I can't see the screen from here, so I've got no idea who's joining me or if you're adding any comments. But feel free to add comments as we go through the workout, and I'll respond to them at the end of the workout. The idea behind doing the 3 10-minute efforts at threshold power is to expose the body to that level of intensity, even a touch higher. And that's why your threshold range, it's a range from just below to just above your threshold power. So your body gets adapted and you're used to spending time at that intensity. So you might hear the Garmin beep at me a few times, telling me to increase the effort because, well, in this case, in the desired zone, but if sometimes it's beeping because I'm out of the zone. Either working too hard or not hard enough. So just while we're warming up, I'm going to talk through the different levels of intensity. So level 1, nice low intensity. You're not really breaking a sweat, you're not really doing much physiologically. It's a suitable level for recovery sessions or ultra long activities, I'll call them, rather than workouts. Moving up to level 2, that's the intensity we're at the moment for the warm-up, where we're working at an intensity. It's starting to get a bit of a sweat on the brow. And I'm in the garage as well. I've got the door open behind me, getting a little bit of a breeze blowing through. We've had a bit of a storm last night and this morning here in Nelson. I understand there's a lot of damage down at the waterfront, and even heard reports of a car getting swept away. But that wind doesn't seem to be blowing over me at the moment. It might just be the wrong angle. Anyway, the level 2 intensity, it's going to enhance your endurance. The efficiency of the heart and lungs are going to be increased. The ability of the muscles to get the oxygen out of the blood system and to the actual muscle fibers that need it is going to be enhanced. There's a lot of really positive benefits for particularly endurance athletes, triathletes and cyclists, whether you're a mountain biker or a road cyclist. You're going to get from doing a lot of training at that intensity. Heart rate's at a low to moderate level, power output's at a relatively low, but obviously it's not as low as level 1. Level 3, we're escalating things a little bit more. Breathing, I won't call it laboured, but the breathing rate or respiration rate is a little bit higher than it was at level 2. Level 2, you can pretty much ride at that intensity all day long if you needed to. Level 3, breathing rates increased a little bit, starting to feel it, and you can't hold it for too long, and by too long I mean a few hours. So if you're a half Ironman type athlete, that's the sort of level you're going to be doing the event at, whether we're talking about the 90k bike ride or the half marathon run. That's the level of effort or intensity that you're going to be doing it. It's not an all day duration, but it's a long time. Stepping things up to level 4, that's your threshold intensity. That's your ability or your time that you can maintain it for is about 60 minutes. So most people that's a 40k time trial or a bit longer than a 10k run for the triathletes that are watching this. And so it's about the intensity that if you've done a functional threshold power test, that's the sort of effort we're talking about. No longer than an hour that you can maintain it for. Same for running, it's the duration you can push, but you can't do it forever. You're going to run out, you feel the fatigue, you feel the heaviness, the burn, and the muscles that are working, and it hurts. We're going to spend a total of 30 minutes at that intensity within this workout. And I'm probably going to sweat bucket loads today as well. Got a hat on to collect as much of the sweat as possible, and also a towel here. Level 5, step up from threshold, that's your VO2 max intensity. And at this sort of intensity we're changing a lot of the biochemical structures that are going on, your body's ability to withstand lactic acid production, and to a certain extent that's happening at threshold as well. Your body's getting really good at clearing that lactic acid, recycling it, resynthesizing it, and using it for energy. At a VO2 max, you're working at the top end intensity. The muscle fibers in the legs are producing a lot of force, and you're working quite hard. Now we're going to touch on that slightly during this workout, because within the 10-minute intervals, every 2 minutes, we're going to get up on the pedals and accelerate for 12 to 15 pedal strokes, and then settle back into our threshold intensity. So we've got 3 more minutes to go on the warm-up, and then we're going to lift the intensity and get into it. So level 5, top end, really going to hurt. Can't do that for longer than a few minutes at a time. Get a good recovery of basically a 1-to-1 ratio, so if you work hard for 3 minutes, 3-minute rest, and then you can go back into it. Some of the, I'll call them more evil sessions, I might get people doing 3 minutes worth of work, only 2 minutes of recovery. We're not going for that complete recovery. We're wanting the ability, or the body's ability to respond even when it's not fully recovered. The sorts of athletes that I'll give that to are draft legal triathletes, criterium racers, road racers, particularly those that need to put in a spurt when the tactics or the event determine that that needs to occur. As we're going today, make sure you have plenty of fluid and keep yourself topped up as we go. So it just dawned on me, if you do add a comment, my watch is connected, so I'll get those comments coming up on my watch. I won't be able to respond to them by typing a response, but verbally I can respond to them as they come through. Oh, that's a nice breeze just blowing through. Oh. We've got just on a minute 30, and then we're going to increase the effort into our first of our threshold reps. Keep that cadence nice and high, about 90 revolutions per minute. Well, it should be about what I'm riding at the moment. It's telling me a cadence of 0. Don't know why it's doing that. Okay, battery must be flat or something. That's alright. We'll keep chugging along. Another minute and then we're going to change gears. If you're not already in the big ring, start preparing yourself to shift to that. And also put on a suitable amount of resistance so that you can really churn it out. So for me, the threshold intensity is at 215, 263 watts. It's going to be sustainable, easily be able to maintain that, but there's going to be a starting accumulation of the lactic acid in the muscles, and there'll be a bit of a burn, particularly towards the end of the 10-minute interval. "30 seconds. Start lifting that cadence a little bit just to prepare for the change in resistance as you step it up into a bigger gear, and also on the Windtrainer adjusting the resistance to feel the burn. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So shot right up into the 300s initially, but I'll settle it down into the correct zone. Almost there. There we go. Remember, we've got 10 minutes like this, but every 2 minutes we're going to be up out of the saddle and we're going to be attacking a 15 or 12 to 15 pedal strokes. That's one. Keep working hard, everyone. Dig deep. Feel that burn. Feel those gains, the improvements, the benefits you'll get out of this in the coming weeks. Good stuff. "30 seconds to our first attack. Awesome work. Almost there. Get ready for the gear shift and then launch that attack. Here we go. 2, 1, and go. Sit back down, revert back to the same gear you're in, settle straight back into the threshold intensity. Doing well. Hold it there. Don't ease off. You're just reverting back to threshold. 90 seconds to the next one. The garage usually works as a wind tunnel. If I open the back door, follows straight through. I guess the wind's blowing the wrong way today. It's not coming in at all. "60 seconds down. Let's go. Another 60 for the next attack. Awesome work. Keep it in zone. Whatever is your threshold zone, whether you're working with heart rate or power, maintain it in that zone. "20 seconds. Get ready for that gear shift. Surge of power as you accelerate. It's only for 12 to 15 pedal strokes. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And ease off. Righty, 2 down. Get it straight back into the threshold zone. Don't let it drop too low. I know it's a challenge to keep it there. Keep it. Try and go slap bang in the middle. I use this program, or this workout, as the basis for a number of the programs I give my athletes, just to build and develop their threshold power. Got to have a really good base built first. "60 seconds down, 60 to go." Keep working hard, everyone. Dig deep. Hold it there. Slap bang in the centre. Do some visualisation. You're a triathlete. Imagine yourself out on the Queen K with the world champs. You're in the Euro position if you're on your tri bike. You're holding that race pace, holding that intensity. You're a road racer. You might imagine yourself having launched off the front, the peloton 60 seconds behind. Righty, change that gear, let's go. It's always a bit awkward getting out of the saddle and sprinting on the Windtrainer. The bike doesn't move like it does when you're out riding on the road. So yeah, you might be road racing, visualising you've got that brake, you're off the front, peloton's maybe a minute back, you're working hard to keep it. You're getting up out of the saddle, attacking over a short rise, small rise, something like that, to keep that momentum, keep that intensity. Getting up over that rise, getting out of sight of the peloton before it arrives. Out of sight, out of mind, keeping clear. 60 down, 60 to go for the next one. That's the 7-minute mark in this 10-minute interval. Alrighty. 30 seconds, we're lifting it again, but for now just maintain that effort, don't go crazy yet, hold it in zone. I'm sitting on 258 watts, between 215 and 263. 10 seconds, visualise yourself coming up that small rise, you need to attack, get over it quickly, miracle shift into a couple of harder gears. And revert straight back into it. Same gear, back into your threshold zone. 2 minutes to go. Finish this interval off strong. These will probably be starting to feel the burn now. Feeling a bit of heat. So we're going to have a good recovery shortly. Well and truly clear out that lactic acid. We've got a good 10 minutes easy riding in between. "60 seconds. Doing great, team, doing great. Ride it all the way home. Keep it in that zone. Don't let it climb too high. Don't ease off. "20 seconds. Here we go, last sprint. And into it. And into a rest now, 10 minutes. Easy riding, back at the level 2 intensity. At this lower intensity, we want to keep the cadence high, up in the 90s. Helps clear out the lactic acid, keeps flushing it out. That's one 10-minute effort down, 2 to go. Another 10 more sprints. Spread 5 each of those two reps. Just keep those legs spinning, clear out any lactic acid we've got, and it will reaccumulate within the next rep. We want our cadence to be above 90 revolutions per minute during this phase. Really effective, clearing out that lactic acid, removing it, as opposed to a lower cadence. We're going to be using the fast twitch muscles, particularly if there's force required to turn the pedals over, but at a higher cadence there's not much force required to turn the pedals over. A lot of it comes down to momentum, but the legs are still going through those contractions, which will help clear out the lactic acid as well as other waste products. When that gets through into the liver, the body will resynthesize that and we'll be able to use it as a fuel. Effectively, we're turning it into carbohydrate. Righty, 2 minutes down. Like I said before, make sure you stay well hydrated. Grab a sip every 5 minutes or so. If there's anyone watching this, give us a like, give us a heart, type a message. I'll get the message synchronized through to my watch, and I can respond to any requests that come in, particularly during these recovery phases. I know there's a few people registered to do this workout at the same time as me, so hopefully you're enjoying it. Give us a shout out if you are, but I realise you might be in the same position as me. You're on your bike, your laptop's in front of you out of reach, and you can't actually send a message. But if you've got your phone in your pocket, phone within arm's reach, jump on, add a comment. I'm looking out, seeing the trees all blowing. They're going all over the place. It's like I'm in a heat chamber inside here. You can see the sweat's dripping off me. Okay. So what I was talking about visualization before, as we're doing those last sort of 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes of the first rep. Talked about visualizing you off the front of the peloton and they're behind you chasing hard. Remind me of might have been in 7th form, the final year of high school in New Zealand. I was doing a B grade tour which was my ability at the time. After that I moved up sort of in ability and did an A grade tour for the first time not long afterwards, but absolutely got spat out the back every single day on that tour. Whereas the B grade tour I was able to be competitive. And on one of the road stages that might have been about 45-50 k's long, rode out of town up this valley, and then there's this big climb up over a hill called Gray's Hill. If you're familiar with the Gisborne region, you're probably familiar with that hill. It's out the back near where the Rhythm and Vines concert is. A number of wineries out that way, but it's also very popular with cyclists. And you drop down into a river valley, and we turned around and came back. Can't remember if it's the same route, or very similar to it, on the way back into town. So there's a big climb out, short descent, turn around, short climb, reasonable descent, and then maybe a grunt into a bit of a headwind, I think from memory, on the flat back into town. And I managed to, I'm not the world's greatest hill climber, I'm certainly no Mario Pantani, but I managed to survive the climb, get over that with the bunch. And over the other side, one of my mates, Kenzie, attacked a number of times, and literally would catch up to him and he'd sit up. And then a bit further down the road, he'd attack again. Eventually, as a peloton, we'd get A into G and chase him down, and we'd catch him and he'd sit up as we started getting closer. And kept on having these surges, and when he realised he wasn't going to get away, he sat up and conserved his energy. Quite a smart move. And as we're approaching the hill, so we had that short climb back into the hill, he was off the front somewhere, and I thought, hey, I might have a stab. And we've got 3.5 minutes before our next one, so hopefully I can wrap this story up before then. Thought I'd have a stab and try and catch up to him, thinking that if it was the two of us, we might go together and get over the climb, get down the bottom before the bunch, and then we've got a chance to two-up time trial back. We'll probably get caught, but hey, I'd rather have a go than sit in. So I launched, got away, bridged across to him, and I don't know, I've never spoken to him about it. I don't know if you're watching, Kenzie, or you remember the race in as much detail as me, but I caught up to him and he sat up. And because I wanted to make sure I got over the small climb and into the descent before the rest of the bunch, or still not the world's best descender, I kept on going. Got down the bottom of the hill and still hadn't been caught. And I looked behind and I could see them, but they were just far enough away that I thought I could have a crack and try and get away and stay away. And so I put my brain into time trial mode, and away I went. And there were a few spectators along and a few people following the race and leapfrogging. So I was getting these time checks, and I don't know how reliable they were, from other cyclists that were spectating at the event, not competing for whatever reason. Maybe they were an A grade rider. I had splits that sort of, they were out at 60 seconds initially, but as we got closer and closer to the finish line, I was getting reports that 20 seconds. I didn't want to look behind. We've got 2 minutes to go before we're into our next hard effort. Didn't want to look behind and see how close they were. It's one of my racing mindsets, is I don't look behind. I focus on what's ahead of me and what I need to do, rather than worrying what's going on behind me. So I just gave everything I had into this time trial to keep away from the closing peloton. And I think from memory I finished maybe 15 seconds ahead of them. I was absolutely spent, but I was also absolutely ecstatic. So I'd managed to hold off this closing bunch over the 10 Ks or whatever it was to the finish line. Holy, I almost didn't get up and do the next day of the stage race. But I'm glad I did. I can't remember how I finished overall, but getting that stage win, that was pretty cool. So that's my story. That's what I was visualising when I was imagining myself out the front of the peloton. relying on memory. Now, not everyone's going to have memory to rely on of a similar situation, but there's nothing wrong with dreaming about it either and imagining yourself in that situation for the first time. So we've got just on 30 seconds. Start preparing yourself, have a quick drink. And then we are going to be into it. Increase the resistance, change to a harder gear. And the next rep, here we come in 10 seconds. And go. Settle into that threshold pace again, threshold level of intensity, whether you're working with heart rate or with power. Measure it, keep yourself accountable. Don't go too hard, because we've got those surges, those attacks to insert in every 2 minutes. Keep it slap bang in the centre. I'm sitting at 243 watts at the moment, which is halfway pretty much between 215 and 263. As we go through, these intervals will get tougher and tougher. Maintain it as we go. Don't go too hard, too early. 60 seconds in. 60 seconds to our first attack. Keep that effort moderated, nice and steady. Let's go. 30 seconds. Remember, an attack of 12 to 15 pedal strokes, just get up over a hill, break the back of something, keep that momentum. Here we go. Change into a harder gear. And sit down. Straight back into that threshold intensity. Get it back in there, lads. Don't let it stay too low. I'm already feeling the burn in this one. Moderate that effort. Keep it nice and steady throughout. After this 10 minutes, we've got another 10-minute rest. And then another 10 minutes of riding hard. Keep it in zone as much as possible. We've got 45 seconds left for our next attack. Power seems to be riding a little bit low this rep. Just need to make sure we're working hard, keeping it in zone. Oh, almost there. Ready for the gear change. Lifting it up and giving it a good attack. 3, 2, 1, and go. Straight back into that threshold. Don't let it drop down too low. right in the middle of that zone. 2 down, 3 to come. I'm certainly feeling it. It's been a while since I've done this series of workouts, but it's always good. You reap the benefits massively. You'll be a fitter, stronger cyclist as a result of it. Almost feels like my cadence is a touch low. 60 seconds to go. We're 5 minutes into this 10-minute rep. Less than a minute to our next attack. Are we ready? Just on 20 seconds to go. I see the sweat starting to pool on the ground under me. Attack number 3 in 10 seconds. Ready for those gear shifts. 1 or 2 gears higher. Up out of the saddle. Really go for it. And go. But I might be able to moderate that one a little bit better, like I did in the first set. I just dropped it a touch too low. I'm back in the centre of the zone again. Work hard, keep it there. 2 more attacks to go. Feeling it. Hope you guys are at home as well. Ah. 60 seconds to go. Keep it nice and steady. Make sure you're up within the centre of the zone somewhere. Maximising your time at threshold. Less than 30 seconds. "15 seconds to go." Start preparing the mind, preparing yourself for it. 5 seconds. Change those gears up and into it. Oh. Nice, I managed to keep it in zone that time, didn't let it drop below. Sometimes it's hard to moderate that effort. Getting it in that zone precisely. 90 seconds and we've got our last attack. Or have we? Starting to lose count now. Luckily it's all in the Garmin. Garmin will tell me. Good stuff. Keep it there, team. 60 seconds to go. Aim for the centre of your zone. Keep it at threshold. Keep that effort moderated, but definitely far from easy. "30 seconds. And 15. Start preparing yourself mentally. Get ready for those gear shifts. 10 seconds. 5. And shift away into it. Stand and attack. And into your recovery. Resistance off. We're 40 minutes in now. 30 minutes to go. Whew, feeling that. A good feeling, by the way. Feeling results are on their way. Not today, not tomorrow, but next week. Have a wee drink, make sure you're staying hydrated. Especially if you're in a heat chamber like I am. Depending on when you're doing this, might be really beneficial what event you're training for. If you're training for an event in a hot climate, maybe you're a British cyclist and you're going to go do an event in Spain. Maybe you're a New Zealand triathlete. Maybe you've qualified for Hawaii, or you're looking at doing Ironman Busselton or one of the Australian Ironmans, or maybe the World Champs on the Gold Coast this year. It might be beneficial for you to make it a heat chamber. Set up the Windtrainer in your bathroom, put the shower on hot, just make the whole room nice and hot and humid. Train in those environments, you'll prepare yourself, you'll acclimatise a whole lot better. I've never been to Spain, so I don't know how humid it is there. It might be you want a dry heat. You might want to put the Windtrainer in a small room, put some heaters in there, so it's a nice dry heat. You're not getting that humidity like you would if you had the shower running. Okay. Feels like we've been in this recovery interval for ages. It's only 7.5 minutes in. 7.5 minutes to go. 2.5 minutes in. Fatigue's starting to play an effect on my basic mental arithmetic. These recovery sections, a good chance to relax a little, get up off the handlebars, shake the hands out a little. So with that mental visualization that I touched on in the last recovery interval, it's a really good tool to help motivate yourself. To really keep that intrinsic motivation going, as opposed to the extrinsic motivation of having someone motivating you. You can get plenty of motivation from all different forms. So having an experience with visualizing success, even if you're on the Windtrainer, can help you prepare for a race day. Looking behind, even though I don't like to, and visualizing that peloton coming up behind you. When I said before that I don't like doing it when I'm racing, it's not a 100% hard and fast rule. I know I've definitely got a strong memory of looking over my shoulder at the bottom of Gray's Hill once I descended it, and seeing that bunch. Well, actually I descended it, and it's got this long, I'll call it a slight downhill, from the bottom of the hill back to the main road. I remember being partway along that straight and looking to see where everyone was. That's when I realised they had a big enough gap, I might as well have a crack at trying to stay away. Did a 5k running race yesterday. It wasn't a super quick time, although for my form at the moment I was pretty impressed with just under a 20:40 for 5k's. I want to try and get under 20 minutes within a few weeks. So I've got some key workouts I'm going to be doing to try and get to that point. And also by the end of the month I also want to have increased my FTP, or my functional threshold power, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this particular workout, and the workouts that follow after it as well in the series, to get me to that point. We've got 5 minutes left of this recovery. If you haven't had a sip since we started it, have another one now. Just a little wee sip. Every so often, every 5 minutes, will keep you well hydrated. I should have weighed myself before I started this session, and then we could have seen exactly how much fluid I lose. Best way to do that is a dry weight at the start and then a dry weight at the finish. Get a towel, dry all the sweat off you, and then re-weigh yourself. I might have been 81 kgs at the start. If I weighed 80.5 and drank a full 750ml bottle, that would have meant that I lost 1.25 litres of water. So a litre of water weighs a kilogram. So if I weighed 81 plus I drunk this, that's a total weight of 81.75. And then being 80.5, that shows how much the difference, how much I've actually lost, being that 1.25 litres. We've got 3.5 minutes and we're into our next attack, or sorry, the next threshold effort. Last 10 minutes, give it everything, ride hard, ride fast, but keep it at required effort. The VO2 max effort, if you went harder, it's going to have different physiological benefits for the body. We're not trying to achieve them with this workout. Well, not fully anyway. Obviously we're doing those attacks and those surges, but we want to be able to moderate it and finish this workout well, rather than go extra hard at the start and not be able to achieve the desired effort in this last rep. So this is where it really counts. Now whether you're a cyclist or a runner or a triathlete, Arthur Lydiard, his training methodology had a lot of influence on how we do our training. And it's the last part of a workout where you get the most benefit. Arthur Lydiard trained a number of famous middle distance New Zealand runners in the 60s, and even though they're only racing 800, 1500 metres, he'd get them to go out and do 20-mile runs just to build their stamina, build their endurance. He used to say it wasn't the first 18 miles that mattered, it was only the last 2. And that's the case with this workout as well. We've got 2 minutes left of this recovery. So this last rep, if we can't do this properly, we might as well pull the pin on the workout. I was struggling a little bit to stay within the zone in the last rep, just dropping too low. So I'm going to have to focus extra hard for this rep, and hopefully I can achieve it. We'll push on through to the other side. 90 seconds. Keep it in that endurance zone, that level 2 intensity. We're not going to try and drop it all the way down to a level 1. So make sure you know what that effort feels like. You can still have a conversation, still talk to someone, whereas at that level 4, you still get some words out, but they're short sentences, as opposed to having a conversation with someone as you're riding with them. Okay, so 45 seconds, we're lifting the intensity into a harder resistance, getting the resistance up, and we're riding that threshold effort. Level 4. Hopefully with 30 seconds to go, you're feeling well recovered. We're ready for this last effort. I know I am. We'll grab a last ditch drink shortly. Oh, just had a bit of breeze blow through. That felt good. Quick drink. Lift the resistance. And up into threshold. Let's go. Slap bang in the center. Moderate this. We've got 10 minutes to go at this intensity. Don't slack off. Make the most of this part of the workout. As I was saying before, this is where we get our results. Bottom bracket's feeling a little bit clunky. Might have to do some maintenance later. "60 seconds. Let's go. 20 seconds into our first attack. Start thinking about it. Get ready for that gear shift. That cooling breeze can keep coming rather than come for a few seconds. 5 seconds. Shift up. Get into the zone, team. Don't be sitting there right on the edge like I am. Right through it. 1 down, 4 attacks to go. Less than 60 seconds. We're into attack number 2. "30 seconds. Feel the hurt, feel the burn, work through it. 15. Righty team, let's go. Shift that gear. When I say feel the burn, I don't mean in the eyeball. Just got some sweat in there. 2 down, 3 to go. Keep it in that threshold zone. Hang it in there. Keep working, team, keep working. Just on 5 minutes to go. And this rep, grab yourself a drink. That's it. Keep in that zone, team. Don't let it drop out. Don't get lazy. Work hard. Keep it up there. "30 seconds for the next sprint." "15. Alrighty, 5 seconds to go. Change gears. Three down, 2 to go. Everyone working at home, keep working. Haven't got long to go. 3.5 minutes. And then we're into the cool down. Aim to keep it in the middle of that threshold zone. Keep that intensity. "60 seconds down. Hold it there, team, hold it there. Feel that burn good and proper. In the quads, in the glutes. 30 seconds. "15. "5. Change those gears. Up into it. Second to last attack. Get it back into that threshold zone as quick as you can. Avoid dropping too low. The last minute and a half now, team. And then we've got the cool down. Just on 1 minute to go. Keep it in that threshold zone right for this final minute. If you've got anything right at the top of that zone, otherwise try and keep it slap bang in the centre. That's what I'm doing. 30 seconds before our final attack. "15. Feel that hurt. All the way to the end. Keep with it. Keep smiling. Last attack. 5. Into the big gear. Up and sprint. Alrighty. Resistance off. Low gear. Wipe the sweat off. And spin it out. This towel here, I've got a few Windtrainer towels. I'm pretty certain this was given in the race pack for my first ever half Ironman as a transition towel. That was back in 1995. Started in 1995. It was late January from memory. 22 years ago. So with the cool down, we want that nice low intensity. So I'm too low at the moment. I just want to spin through, flush out any lactic acid, keep in a low power zone. Garmin set up for 143 to 174. I wanted to keep in a highest cadence, flushing that lactic acid out. Stopping dead at the end of the intervals is never a good thing. It doesn't encourage the blood to get removed from the muscles. Whereas if we keep the muscles active by spinning them out, low force, low intensity, keeping them ticking over, clears that lactic acid out nice and quickly, nice and efficiently, and it's probably the best thing you can do for your muscles prior to stretching them. Combination of doing a full cool down, then some stretching, and then a healthy nutritious meal is the best thing you can do for your recovery, and then getting a good night's sleep, both before the workout, i.e. last night, and then again tonight to help recover from the workout. Like I said yesterday, I did a 5k race. The time was at my limit at the moment based on my fitness. I know there's probably plenty of people watching this can run faster, but there's also probably a number of people that can't run that quickly and would be severely challenged to do so. But based on my current fitness level, I gave it everything I had. So I need to make sure I recovered from that. So that was first thing yesterday morning, 6 o'clock race. Yep, midweek as well. And then it's 12 o'clock, or 12:30 today I started this Windtrainer session, New Zealand times. So that's a good, 30 hours between them, plus a good sleep. Slept like a log last night. Woke up naturally this morning without an alarm clock. Reminds me I need to get up early tomorrow, so I'll set the alarm now. We're just spinning this out for 10 minutes to complete the workout, and then I'll sign off and leave you to do your own stretches. I usually do most of my stretching whilst in the shower. It's good to have that hot water flowing over them while you do so. It keeps the blood flowing through them. And there's a reasonable pool of water below me, but also I'm covered. It's sweat. Just on 5 minutes to go, and we are finished. Hope you've enjoyed this workout. Hope you've been challenged within the workout. It is a good workout, delivers some really good results. And you'll start seeing the benefits of those results in about a week's time. Now if we hit it again next week with the Quad Crusher 2, the week after that Quad Crusher 3, and then Quad Crusher 4, you'll be good to go with a decent amount of improvement in your functional threshold power. It's typically about 20% improvement for most people. Last time I did this series of workouts, I got an 18%. It all depends on where you're starting from, what your base fitness is like. The better your base fitness is, the more gains you're going to get from this workout or series of workouts. One workout by itself won't fully deliver the goal, but by doing the progressions of it through the different Quad Crusher series, you'll get some good results. And that's where I've had people getting the 20% plus improvements. On my website, I've got a 6-week functional threshold power improvement program, whether you're using a power meter. I've also got a variation of it using a heart rate monitor to get those fitness improvements. Obviously with a power meter, you're measuring the power directly, so you know you're getting those improvements, you know what those results are going to be. Well, not what they're going to be, you can measure what they are when you get to the end of it. Whereas a heart rate, you're not measuring the output metrics, power, you're measuring what's happening internally and how your body's responding to that. But I guarantee that you'll get those improvements. Alright, 2.5 minutes to go, and it's time to do some stretching. The weather outside, that storm I mentioned earlier, did appear to have been clearing up. The sky was definitely getting lighter, but it's getting darker again now. Possibly could have been fine sneaking out and doing this workout on the road today, but I wouldn't have been able to do the live feed for you guys to join me. If you've enjoyed this workout, make sure you click the like button down below. If you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching this live on Facebook, add a comment, let me know that you joined me. Any comments that have been written in, I'll reply to them a little bit later on once I've showered and done a couple of other things. And then we're into the next workout tomorrow, which for me is quite a challenging swim session. Give my legs a break after doing the race yesterday and this session today. In the comments, feel free to let me know what you're training for as well. Got 1 minute to go. Keep up the good work everywhere. Keep that intensity flowing through. I'll link to a Strava so you can see my metrics from today's workout. So if you want to follow me on Strava, I simply use my website www.coachray.nz, You can search for me on Strava that way and find me. "15 seconds to go, and we've completed our cool down. Listen to the Garmin. Cool down until that key. Woo! Now that you're finished, make sure you do some stretching. Spend some time stretching the quads, opposite hand, opposite leg. Also stretch the glutes. Put the ankle up on the knee, bend the knee, keeping the back naturally aligned. It's a bit hard to do in cycling shoes, but I've got the bike for support. Tilt forward, feeling a stretch in the glute for the knee that's up. And do any other stretches, calves, hamstring, upper body, that you feel the muscles are reasonably tight. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your training, and all the best for whatever it is you're training for. I'm Coach Ray. You can find me at www.coachray.nz. Hey Anthea, good running with you yesterday, and hey Will, good to see you as well, mate. Touch base, Will. It's been a while since I've heard from you. Catch us later.